1.1 notes. All right. How do you find? So the first thing it asks you is what/how do you find average? Does anybody know how we find the average of something? Julianne, what do you do? That's exactly right. You add up all the numbers you have and then you divide by your total numbers. Do we think we should probably write that down? 100% of the time. So you're going to add. I'm going to call them data points, but they're just usually numbers. And then divide by your total. Add up all your data points, which are your numbers, and then divide by your total. Add them all up and divide. Okay? Now, example 1. How many numbers do I have? Example 1, how many numbers do I have? 4. So I'm going to grab my calculator, grab your calculators, add them all up. 5 plus 9 plus 12 plus 17. Boom. Add them all up. So that is 43. Step 2 says divide by how many numbers there are. Now, everybody listen to me. So I'm going to write 43 divided by how many total numbers were there? 4, and then I'm going to put an equal sign. Now, everybody, when you start adding lots and lots and lots of numbers, because that happens, your calculator will store everything. So besides, I do not want you to do what some of you are going to do. Some of you are going to go type in 43 divided by something. Get used to a certain button on your calculator. That button is your answer key. Okay? It's an answer key. Do you see the negative sign on your calculator down there? Right above it says ANS, yes? Hold on. Mrs. Small, she's driving me nuts. Okay, so what you're going to do, everybody in your calculator, you are going to hit your division symbol. And when you hit your division symbol, my calculator is going to look just like yours. Do you have something that says ANS divided by? Yes. You're going to want to use one of mine. So your desk 24, go ahead and use one of mine. And for you, if you're at a whole bunch of numbers and you forget it, how annoyed will you be if you don't know how to find it? ANS stores everything. So you're going to do ANS, your answer, and then you're going to divide by 4. Now, how many of you freak out because you get a decimal? Stop freaking out when you get a decimal. That just happens. Your average is going to be a decimal a lot of the times. So 10.75. I'm going to talk about it. Okay? Now, here's where I need you to go now. Everybody open up your computers, please. Everybody open up your computers, please. And you're going to go to this. Go to that website I just wrote down, student.desmos.com. What you now need to do, it says list out the number of letters in each last name here. So, the first last name you see is Wilson. Yes? How many letters are in that name? 6. So on your note, you're going to do 6. Just literally write them all down. Now listen, stop. Before you guys stop listening to me, you're going to write them all down. Then you need to find the average. And you need to round your answer to the nearest hundredth place. That's 2 numbers after a decimal point. If you're not sure about rounding, what are you going to do? Raise your hands. Okay? I want this to take like a minute. Now, after you've written all the numbers down, find your average, that's when I want you to confer with your neighbor to make sure that you guys have the right answer. Capiche? 1 minute. Go. 5.75 is your, how many? So your average is 5.75. Now let's talk about rounding. Okay, hundredths place is here, yes? Yes? 2 numbers after a decimal point, yes? Yes. Is there a number after the 5? Guys, you should be looking up here.
It's frozen, yeah.
Oh, that's probably why. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, 5.75 is your average. Is there a number after the 5? No. So can I round anything if it stops in the hundredths place? No, that's it. That's absolutely it. That's your answer. Now, what if I had this? 6.149. If I asked you to round 6.149. This is the hundredths place, yes? This is the one and only time I'm going to go over rounding. From now on, I expect you guys to know it. This is the hundredths place, yes?
Yeah. No.
You look at the number. This is the hundredths place. You look at the number behind it. Stop. Does the 9 tell the 4 to stay the same or go bigger? Bigger. What if I had this? Here's the hundredths place. What does the 4 tell this 4 to do? Stay the same. It never goes smaller. It either rounds up or it stays the same. Now, I am going to give you a number 1, 2, or 3. You are going to need to remember that number and we'll go from there. Capiche? Okay.